Yay.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of the Scrimshaw Show. My name is Scrimshaw. We're doing NFL picks. Daniel Arfin's here. Why the fuck are the Jets 2-point favorites against the Texans? We're recording this Thursday afternoon. The next 2 minutes of conversation will either look prescient or idiotic.
Is CJ Stroud hurt? Is Stephon Diggs that important? I do not understand what is happening here.
I actually have like a semi-strong take, which is that quote unquote number one wide receivers are wildly overvalued in market.
The exception, of course, being AJ Smith.
You mean AJ Brown?
I do mean AJ Brown. AJ Smith. I just confused.
Is AJ Smith is he like an old catcher in baseball?
No, I'm just combining Devonta Smith and AJ Brown into one.
Who was the old Blue Jays catcher whose first name is AJ?
AJ Przinsky?
Yes. Back when I gave a shit about baseball. Back when I really tried to give a shit about baseball. Remember when Mark Burley was the pitcher?
He was indeed a pitcher. That was when the Jays were good, though. We acquired him for the 2015 season.
Was he ex-White Sox?
He was. That's correct.
Did you guys once have a game against him where there were 0 runners on base all game?
Yes. You are remembering the correct Mark Burley.
Why do I remember any of this? Who was the Canadian pitcher who ended up this was like 2008. He wasn't very good, but he was on the Blue Jays for like a cup of coffee. Adam Lowen? Was that his name?
There were a few cup of coffee type Canadian pitchers who came through Toronto.
Because I remember, whoever it was in 2008, I remember you were playing the Tampa Bay Rays. It was like...
Probably Scott Richmond. Scott Richmond, yeah, almost certainly.
I'm about to Google this, but I remember because I was listening to the game on the radio in Canada, in Ottawa, and I'm listening to the game. Matt Stairs was on the Blue Jays at the time. And I just remember that was the day my mother had to fly out to Toronto to visit her ailing father, my grandfather, who as he nearly died that day.
Oh, wow.
I'll never forget listening to the game. I don't know if it was a case of like, Did Sportsnet not air every game then? Did I not know that? Did I feel like I wasn't allowed to watch television during the day?
Well, Sportsnet didn't always have exclusive rights to the Blue Jays.
Really?
Yes, they broadcast on TSN for a while as well.
Even though, but the team is owned by Rogers.
Yes, they
let TSN have the games.
They did. Yes.
Why?
I don't remember when their rights with TSN ended, but yeah, the TSN used to.
Seems incredibly stupid to me. By the way, I have found the box score for this game.
Okay.
Pitching lines and info. It was Scott Richmond.
There you go.
It was Scott Richmond. Five in the third innings, 3 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, 1 homer. He threw 54 strikes on 92 pitches.
Whoa.
Yeah. Do you got a bet you like while I'm going through very bad nostalgia? He's got a walk. He struck out twice. Lyle Overbay got a hit. Got a hit, 2 RBIs.
I mean, you're just describing the Blue Jays of my childhood. We could turn this into a nostalgia show if you want.
God, John McDonald. Everybody loved John McDonald because he was a hustle player.
Johnny Mac. Yeah, Toronto loves those mediocre middle infielders, man.
God, Alex Rios. Was Vernon Wells not on this team, but did he have a day off?
It might have been. Vernon Wells should be on that team. If Rios is there,
the roster, he might have had a day off. Yeah, it looks like he did have the day off. Because he played 100-day games that year. So yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Buffalo -6 over Miami. I don't give a shit that 2 is here. He's a massive concussion risk. The Dolphins suck. The Bills have finally rounded into form. I don't even remember who the Bills won and covered last week. Oh, they kicked the shit out of Seattle. Yeah, Miami suck. Bills -6 in Orchard Park.
Yeah, this feels like an easy start to the week. I'm gonna
5-1 last week. I think you at least went 4-1. I don't remember what the one game you disagreed with me on was.
I'm gonna tail you on the Bills here because they're at home. The defense has been stepping up. The offense is starting to click with the new pieces.
Kincaid Sisson is here.
Everyone loves Kincaid. A good tight end story is always fun.
Yeah, he's also hot as hell. Hey, I am perfectly fine sexualizing football players, but
I just have nowhere to go from there. I don't have much to add on Dalton Kincaid's attractiveness, hotness, or notness.
Yeah, I mean, you have definitely had to listen to me talk about Matthew Nyes too many times for your life. Make your first pick, or your second pick, or your first actual pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Titans at home against the Patriots. The Patriots are getting 3.5 points. I don't think that's enough. The Patriots are a bad team.
The counterpoint: the Patriots just beat the Jets last week.
The Jets are a terrible team. They're the worst team I've seen since the 0-16 Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, they're not that bad.
They're pretty bad though.
I mean, it's Brissett starting, and we know that he's not actually good.
Yeah. I have no problem giving up 3.5. The Titans are going to win by a touchdown.
Here's my problem. I don't trust Duck Dynasty bro, Mason Rudolph.
He's looked passable, if not decent.
I'd feel better if it was Will Levis, but I don't know if that's just because I have seen Will Levis's dick, and I found that to be a attractive position. Wow, I'm just really admitting to being gay on this podcast. No, if it was Drake May, I would dislike this more, or I would disagree more, because I think May has at least upside to do things. Brissett, we know who he is. Titans defense looks pretty good. I don't disagree. I mean, if the Titans defense plays like the defense that showed up in the first half against Buffalo, where they held them to 7 points, they'll do their jobs. Minnesota -5 against Indianapolis on Sunday Night Football. The Colts defense they're 23rd in the league. The Vikings defense is top 5 in the league by EPA. Colts are 16th, but they're 23rd against the pass. Darnold's going to rip them to shreds. Vikings defense is good. That D gets home. And the thing about Flacco, he's 4th in the league by EPA. He's 17th by success rate. He is surviving on deep balls and variance. That success rate number is way more predictive of where he's going to be moving forward. And generally, when you have a big gap between EPA, which overvalues big plays versus success rate, much more like a mean median situation, you're much likelier to revert to your median than your mean. And he's just not very good. And I kind of think the Colts have completely fucked this up with the quarterback change. Vikings are good. I think a lot of people are overreacting to like, oh, they lost to the Lions by a point 2 weeks ago. Who did the Vikings play last week? Oh, they lost to the Rams. Like that, whatever. Thursday night football, short week. They just had played a division game. Rams were a bit of a letdown spot on the road with the mini bye. It's fun.
So I'm not picking against this. I'm going to stay away from this pick, but I'm going to push back on you a little bit here. First of all, I think the Colts made the right decision in changing their quarterback because Anthony Richardson came out of the game last week, not because he was injured, but because he was tired and needed to catch his breath. That's inexcusable.
Okay, but if you want to send a message about that, you bench him for the rest of the game.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was very strange that he came back.
You do not kill the 4th overall pick who has played less than 10 NFL games. You do not kill this kid's career like this. This is a very penny wise, pound foolish decision, especially given that Flacco isn't very good and he's not solving any of your problems in the medium term. And all you've done is signal to the rest of the league that you think this guy's shit, and now you're not going to even be able to get a second rounder for him when you inevitably trade him, because Flacco's not taking you to the playoffs. He's not good enough. And so you're going to then have to make a decision this offseason. Do you go back to Richardson? Do you trade Richardson? If you trade him, what can you trade him for? Are you trying to trade back up to the top of the draft and try again? Except this time, the quarterback class this year is fucking garbage. Like, Quinn Ewers is going to be a top 10 pick, and he's dog shit. I'm kind of convinced fucking Deion's kid sucks, too. And the Miami guy, I don't know if he's any good or if it's just the ACC is shit.
I mean, Chris Ballard is probably the worst GM in football. I don't know that
No. Whoever is actually making football decisions in Vegas is worse.
That's fair. I don't know who that happens to be, but yeah.
The question is whether or not that's actually Mark Davis.
But Chris Ballard and the Colts, this team is terrible. Every wrong decision on personnel.
Terrible GM in LA.
That's true too. But there's just so much wrong with this Colts team. And but back to the Vikings. I do want to mention that they have looked a little sluggish. Their defense hasn't seemed as sharp as it did to open the season. And we saw this last year where their defense didn't make adjustments down the stretch and they became vulnerable. So it's something to watch for. Again, I'm not picking against the Vikings.
But don't forget, last year they had Kirk Cousins as their quarterback, and then they had the fucking Pasternaut, and then Nick Mullins.
Yes.
And whoever the fucking dumbass they decided to start against Green Bay.
They absolutely
gave up the
offense.
Like, I think what happened last year was that defense had to play 42 minutes a game.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the problem this week. And also, even if they are a bit sluggish, they have the mini bye.
So,
make your third pick.
My next pick, I am going to take. Man, it's really hard because every time I pick the Eagles, they lose. But they're playing the Jags
last week, and they fucking destroyed them.
We're at home. Yeah, give me the Eagles. We finally figured out that we can run the ball and we can win.
Why can I not? Oh, Jaguars. I thought you said Giants. What's the line?
It is Eagles minus 7.5.
I don't want the hook. Jags were, I don't know, better than expected last week against Green Bay. Kind of. Not gonna lie, I stopped watching that game and Green Bay went up 10 and then found out Jordan Love got hurt. Also not positive that Green Bay defense is that good. I kind of just feel like 7.5 is a big number in a game with a 45.5 team total, and I kind of think if these quarterbacks could legitimately combine to throw the ball 30 times,
they could.
Because Because Tank Bigsby seems to be the only thing on that Jags offense that reliably works, and Saquon can run for about 25 times a game.
I don't think the Jags are going to stop the run. We have the wide receivers healthy and back again. AJ Brown, like I said, he's very good at football.
I'm putting Philadelphia in a Monday line parlay. I don't know about the 7.5. Atlanta -3. Oh, the Cowboys look back for about a half. Yeah, no, the Cowboys fucking suck. Dak is terrible. Mike McCarthy needed to be fired 3 years ago.
This team is bad.
And I think this line should be bigger, but like the Falcons haven't played in prime time in a bit. They're kind of just going under the radar. They're playing good football. They just beat Tampa Bay last week, which I think is a pretty impressive win. Yeah, I don't know. Atlanta -3.
I'm with you on it. Kirk Cousins continues to heal up. He doesn't look like such a statue in the pocket. They put decent protection around him. Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay, make your just screw it. I'm gonna make another pick because you've got 4 teams. I've only got 3. Bears +1.5. Look, if they don't shit the bed last week, they win. I think they're a good team. I think Caleb Williams is getting better. Cardinals defense hasn't showed me anything. Cardinals just beat Miami, but I clearly don't view much of Miami, so I don't really care.
I'm looking at this in it like a pick'em. The Bears aren't very good. The Cardinals aren't very good. I think I'm going to stay off that game.
I think the Bears are better than that.
I think they're better than Arizona, but I don't know. I don't like it that much. With Arizona at home, yeah, I'm just gonna stay away. I'm gonna give the 1.5 and take the Rams visiting the Seahawks. They just won, and they've looked better lately.
Off the mini bye, the Rams are.
They're 3-4. They beat the Vikings. They're coming up. They beat the Raiders.
Okay, is beating the Raiders supposed to be impressive?
No, but they beat the Vikings, and the Seahawks are bad. So,
yeah, and again, Rams have the mini bye, which you just completely ignored.
Yeah.
That's great. I agree with you on that one, I guess. I'm not gonna lie, I don't love this slate of games.
Vegas has done a good job with these lines this week. Doesn't feel like a ton of value other than the Thursday night football game, which
we are not picking because this will be coming in after. Screw it. LA Chargers. That's my final pick. They're going to beat Cleveland. Cleveland cost everything at beating Lamar in Baltimore last week. They're due for a letdown. Jameis still sucks. Chargers defense is good. Herbert's the better quarterback. They got the better head coach. LAC. FTW.
Yeah, I don't think I can pick the Browns. But I'm not sure the Chargers going across the country, 1 p.m. start. I think I would rather take the Commanders.
Can I point out that the Chargers are second in defensive EPA?
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. I'll take
they're fourth. Can I point out that they're fourth in defensive success rate?
Yeah, Jameis is going to throw 3 picks. Okay, yeah, I'm with you. Give me the Chargers.
I knew they were good. I was just trying to fucking Ben Bolton's site was fucking taking him a million years for me to load. Okay, you're doing Buffalo, Tennessee, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Rams, and the Chargers. I am doing the Bills, Vikings, Falcons, Bears, Rams, and Chargers. You can be found at Arfin Nathaniel.
That's correct.
I can be found at Epic. You can like, subscribe, yada yada yada. Honestly, if you can't recite my fucking outro at this point by heart, you are a fake fan. I'm hoping to be back with the U.S. draft this weekend. If not, I'll have Ryan Jakubowski back on to debrief all of the results. Trust me, I have asked him. We'll find out whether he can make the time for me, or whether he will rudely ignore me and my pleas for continuity of podcasting. But at least Nathaniel never says no to me when I ask him for the time. Appreciate you, buddy.
Thanks for having me. And if we don't speak, I hope the world doesn't end next Tuesday.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I'm going to be drunk from about Monday night football on. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for having me.